Imagine waking up one day and realizing you're just another person. Not the chosen one, not the main character, just a regular human. Terrifying, right? Well, I've got news for you. You're not special. But hey, don't feel too bad. Neither am I. In fact, nobody is. That participation trophy you got? Worthless. The A plus your teacher handed you for effort. Just a glorified pat on the back. And that quirky personality trait you think makes you unique. Guess what? There are about a million other people doing the exact same thing right now. The truth is, no one is special. But how the heck did we get here? Why does everyone walk around like they're the main character in some Oscar-worthy drama called The Me Show? Well, back in the 60s, researchers thought the key to fixing society was making everyone feel special. Like, if we just tell people they're amazing, they'll magically become amazing. The logic? If everyone walked around feeling like a rock star, society would transform into some utopia where crime disappeared, grades skyrocketed, and everyone had their dream job. Basically, they thought boosting self-esteem was a cheat code to a functioning society. By the 70s, this idea spread faster than a rumor in a high school group chat. Parents were told to drown their kids in praise. Therapists started hyping up self-love like it was the secret sauce to life. Politicians nodded along like it was a noble-worthy idea, and teachers casually handed out A's like they were Oprah. Ever heard of grade inflation? It's like getting an A for just spelling your name correctly, and sometimes not even that. Participation trophies became the norm, and kids were doing homework like, list 5 reasons why you're special, as if they were filling out a dating profile. Business seminars popped up everywhere, promising to make you exceptional in just one weekend. Because nothing screams unique like being one of a million people who think they're going to invent the next iPhone after a PowerPoint presentation. But here we are a generation later, and guess what? The data's in. We're not all exceptional. Shocking, right? Turns out just feeling good about yourself doesn't really mean much unless you have actually done something to deserve it. Sure, you could feel amazing about being able to microwave popcorn without burning it, but let's not pretend you're curing cancer over here. Apparently, those things we've been avoiding, failure and adversity, are actually crucial for building strong, capable adults. Who knew that skipping the participation trophies might have been the better move? Instead of a generation of confident, resilient go-getters, we have ended up with, well, a population drowning in entitlement. Everyone's walking around like the main character in a Netflix original. But here's the twist. Entitlement is a failed strategy. It's like eating a family-sized bag of chips when you're sad. It feels great in the moment, but it's not real happiness. True self-worth is not about how great you feel when life's handing you gold stars. No, the real test is how you deal with the garbage days, the setbacks, the failures, the moments when life pelts you with metaphorical tomatoes. Because, let's face it,
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
it's about surviving the messy, awkward moments and coming out the other side. Anyway, this entitlement plays out in one of 2 ways. Number 1, I'm awesome and you all suck, so I deserve special treatment. And number 2, I suck and the rest of you are all awesome, so I deserve special treatment. It's like 2 sides of the same selfish coin. Opposite vibes on the surface, but deep down, it's the same creamy core of self-obsession. In fact, you will often see entitled people flip back and forth between the two. Either they're on top of the world or the world is on top, usually depending on how their latest ego boost or existential crisis is going. The common thread is it's always about them, their feelings, their needs, their everything. It's exhausting, honestly. You'll make great weather reporters, always switching between sunny skies and catastrophic storms, based entirely on their latest mood swings. As mentioned earlier, narcissism, whether grandiose or vulnerable, often starts in childhood. Parents who constantly tell their child they're the best or the smartest might unintentionally create, well, a narcissistic brat. On the flip side, kids who grow up feeling ignored, belittled, or undervalued might develop narcissistic traits as a defense mechanism, a way to shield themselves from the pain of feeling less than. As these kids grow up, grandiose narcissist emerges as the one who always needs to be the center of attention. They mask their low self-esteem by acting overly confident, bragging non-stop, and constantly seeking admiration. These are the people who casually name drop their accomplishments during a conversation about pizza toppings, all while fishing for compliments like it's their full-time job. Vulnerable narcissists, on the other hand, are a whole different flavor of complicated. They deal with their insecurities by being hypersensitive to criticism and endlessly craving validation. They're the ones who might take a harmless joke as a personal attack. While the grandiose type demands the spotlight, the vulnerable type just wants someone to tell them they're okay, even if deep down they don't believe in themselves. Entitlement makes us believe that we're all destined to be extraordinary, that we're somehow special just by existing. But here's the thing, if everyone is extraordinary, doesn't that just mean no one really is? If everyone's standing on the same pedestal, then the pedestal itself becomes meaningless. And when you take a step back, it starts to look like we're all just ordinary, average even. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just reality. Most of us are pretty average at most things we do. Like, sure, you might be amazing at baking banana bread, but can you parallel park without causing a traffic jam? Probably not. Even if you're exceptional at one thing, chances are you're average, or let's be honest, below average at a bunch of other stuff. That's just how life works. To be truly great at something, you have to pour an absurd amount of time and energy into it. Imagine life as a video game, and you start with 100 diamonds. Each diamond represents a year of your life, just 100 of them to spend however you want. These diamonds are your currency to level up your skills, whether it's mastering Muay Thai, learning to play the guitar, perfecting your cook, or whatever else you dream of. But here's the catch. You only have so many diamonds. Once you spend them, they're gone. So you can't max out every skill. You have to choose wisely where to invest your diamonds because life, just like the game, is all about making the most of what you've got. Let's say LeBron James spent most of his diamonds on basketball, turning himself into one of the greatest players ever. But he probably didn't drop too many diamonds on learning to play the piano. Warren Buffett might be one of the richest men in the world, but you won't find him shredding on the guitar. Basically, everyone has to pick where to spend their diamonds, and no one has enough to master everything. Even the greats are just average in most areas. They just chose wisely where to shine. The point is, we're all, for the most part, pretty average people. Yet, it's the extremes that get all the spotlight. We kind of know this by now, but we rarely stop to think about it, let alone talk about why it's a problem. All day, we're hit with a tidal wave of the truly extraordinary. The best of the best, the worst of the worst, the greatest physical feats that make you feel guilty about skipping leg day, the funniest jokes that you never thought, the most upsetting news that makes you want to hide under a blanket. It's a non-stop highlight reel, and we're just sitting here trying to decide if reheating pizza counts as cooking. These days, we're constantly bombarded with the most extreme stuff life has to offer. Why? Because that's what grabs attention, and attention equals money in the media world. Simple as that. But here's the thing. Most of life happens in the boring middle. Most of life is unremarkable, even downright average. Yet, this constant stream of extreme highlights has tricked us into thinking that being extraordinary is normal. And since most of us are just regular people doing regular things, all this extraordinary content makes us feel insecure, like we're not good enough as we are. So what do? We overcompensate. Some of us are entitled, trying to convince ourselves and everyone else that we're amazing. Others obsess over idolizing people who seem to have it all together. Either way, it's all just a way to cope with feeling like we're not enough. When society's idea of success is all about being extraordinary, it kind of turns into a race to the bottom. Like, if you're at the extreme low end of the bell curve, at least you're still special. And hey, you'll probably get a lot of attention. Some people even go for this strategy. I'm the most miserable, the most oppressed, the most victimized. It's like a weird competition to see who's the most extraordinary in their suffering. A lot of folks are scared to just accept being average, thinking that if they do, they'll never get anywhere or improve. Like, if I'm not climbing to the top of the mountain, does that mean I'll never be able to do anything meaningful? But here's the twist. Being average, unremarkable, or just plain ordinary, that's not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's what makes life meaningful. Think about it. If everyone were extraordinary, then by definition, no one would be extraordinary. The idea that we don't have to be exceptional all the time or ever is actually liberating. It's like stepping off a treadmill you didn't even realize you were on. Suddenly, you're free to stop chasing and start living. When you accept that nobody's truly special, you start to see life for what it really is. A shared experience, full of ups, downs, and everything in between. It's not about standing out or being better than everyone else. It's about connecting, learning, and embracing the messy, beautiful chaos of being human. The truth is, nobody's special, and that's okay, because the pressure to constantly prove yourself, that's exhausting. And let's be honest, nobody's keeping score anyway. When you stop trying to impress the world, you can finally start enjoying it. You can focus on the things that actually matter, like spending time with people you love, doing things that make you happy, and just being present in the moment. In a world where everyone's trying to scream, "Look at me," the most radical thing you can do is whisper, "I'm fine just as I am."